Hey guys, and welcome back to Sweet Magnolias. Today I'm going to show you how I took this $3 old sewing table that was in desperate need of some love and transformed it into a beautiful farmhouse style side table. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step was to peel off the top of the table. As you can tell from the before clips, it was already pretty chipped and looked pretty rough. So I decided to go ahead and peel this off. This was the most satisfying part of this entire process, was peeling off the top and sanding it. Although I did realize that I needed to be more careful, which is why I switched over to using a screwdriver because I got a couple of splinters. But this was definitely, like I said, the most satisfying part of this process. So once I got the top peeled off and sanded, I did just want to open it up and show you guys what the inside looks like. It does have two different panels that open on it. It's for a sewing machine to go inside. I'm not going to use that part, so I just kept it closed and painted it so that it was sort of stuck shut. I used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint as a base because I wanted it to look very distressed. So I painted it with the base paint of the chalk paint, gray, and then I was going to go over it with brush strokes of white paint. So I just go ahead and cover it all up with the spray paint except for the top. So this is what I'm working with so far. I've got the primer coat on of the spray paint, and it's, for the most part, it's well covered, but it's not completely covered, but it's fine because it's just a base. And I removed the top and sanded it, and I'm thinking that I may do a stain on the top because it does have a nice wood grain under there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It has a nice wood grain under there, so I may do a stain on top, but I'm going to brush paint the rest of it white. Go for like a farmhouse look. So in painting it with the paintbrush, I wasn't too extremely strict with making sure that everything was covered. I did want some of those streaky lines on the table just to give it that distressed look. So it did take me a while to do this because I probably should have used a smaller paintbrush. And the legs were a little bit more difficult to do as well, but I think this gave it a really farmhouse look. Okay, so the whole thing has been painted. The legs were a little bit of a challenge. And if you look at it, you can see that I've still got some like streaky brush strokes. But that's okay because that's what I wanted. I wanted it to look real kind of distressed and farmhousey. And what I'm actually going to do with the top here is I'm going to stain the top with the same walnut stain that I used on the shelf in my bedroom. So I'm going to stain the top. The legs were definitely a challenge, and they look a little more streaky probably than I would like, but it is what it is. I'm not going back over it again, I don't think. I think it's the perfect amount of stressed paint looking. So I think it looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and stain the top, and I'm going to let everything dry. I am going to have to repaint the feet down here because they were gray from the spray paint, and I got some white paint on them, so I'm going to respray paint those gray. But I'm going to let the paint dry first before I do that. So y'all, I don't know what happened to my clip of me staining the tabletop, but this is what the tabletop looked like after I applied about 2 coats of stain. It was a little bit rough because the wood was a little bit bad and damaged anyway, but I think it does add an element to the table different than if I'd have just painted it all white. I do wish the wood top was a little bit thicker so that the stain would pop a little bit better, but overall I'm happy with how it turned out. So this was my finished table. I did repaint the feet white with some white spray paint, and I really liked the way it turned out, and I couldn't wait to go ahead and start decorating with it. So the woven mat I actually got at Walmart for about $2. The rest of the stuff I already had. This was basically just to show you guys what it would look like decorated. I believe I'm going to use this table in my living room, so the decorations will probably look a little bit different, but I am loving the way this DIY turned out. For $3, I could not ask for a better table to work with. All the paint and stain I already had, so this whole DIY project cost me about $4 or $5. So I think that is a win. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.